Welcome to Back to Basics. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the deadlift. Why should you deadlift? Well, there's a lot of reasons for that, but number one, whenever you're lifting something in your daily life, people always tell you to lift with your legs, not with your back. Most people lift with their back, and most people throw out their back. But having good deadlift technique is going to help you lift properly in your day-to-day life. Also, a lot of people can pull a lot of weight off the ground. So you're going to look awesome. You're going to get a huge butt because you're working your posterior chain. You're going to get big forearms, and because you're hitting almost every muscle in your body, you're going to get an increase in testosterone. And you're going to get yoked. You're going to get better at sports, and you're just going to be really cool all around. So why not deadlift? So how do you deadlift? First and foremost, you're going to want your feet just slightly in from shoulder width apart. You're going to grab the bar with nice straight forearms. You don't want any bend in your elbows. You want to have your shoulders over the bar. You want a nice flat back. You're almost in a full squat, but not quite. Your head's looking forward in a nice neutral position. And then as you pick up the bar, you want the bar to track very, very close to your body. You want it to almost be touching your shins. You want to clench your cheeks throughout the whole movement. What you don't want is the small of your back rounding. That's a recipe for injury. And then you just stand straight up and you put the bar back down. So there's a lot of common mistakes with a deadlift, and the majority of them revolve around pulling with just your arms and your back, not using your legs. If you're doing that, chances are you're also rounding the small of your back like crazy. That's going to result in not only back injuries, but you're not really going to be able to lift a ton of weight. In addition to that, people not keeping their arms straight, flexing their elbows and yanking the bar off the ground, that's going to cause joint issues with your elbows. And another thing is when people get really, really into their deadlifts and they're exerting themselves, they'll have their head staring straight up at the ceiling. So that's not keeping your spine in a neutral position. That's going to lessen the power output that you can produce, and that might cause you to injure your back as well. All right, so there's a few variations of deadlifts that you can use. Oftentimes, the deadlift itself is a pretty simple movement, and you can do it for the majority of your programming, but if you need to break through a plateau, these are some good ways to do it. Just throw in a little more variety. So rack pulls, first of all, you're either going to set the bar up on a rack or on plates. You're putting it 6 to 8 inches off the ground, and that just means it's going to be a shorter range of motion, and it's typically easier to pull. It's similar to a box squat for the back squats, in that you should be able to pull a lot more weight than you can for a normal deadlift. Romanian deadlifts is a straight leg deadlift, but you're not lifting with your back. You're still using proper deadlift form, but your legs are staying straight or relatively straight throughout the entire movement. And finally, the sumo deadlift involves a wider stance with your feet turned out, much like it might be for the back squat, and your hands are going to be in close. A lot of powerlifters use this for their competition deadlift because a lot of people can pull more weight because it activates the glutes even more than the normal deadlift. So now you know how to deadlift. So get out there and get pulling some heavy weight.
Get swole!
If you don't have immediate access to a barbell, you can just find anything that's stiff as a board. Maybe even a human body. They're everywhere.